Hello, hi.
Hi.
That was a fantastic game. Can you talk us through a little bit? I mean, you had a busy first half, but second half was off the hook. People talk about being in the zone. Was it something that felt special to you today, or was it just another day at the office?
I think for me, I try to characterize it as a flow state, and once I get into my flow state, I just feel like everything's kind of fluid, and I'm just in my comfort zone. So yeah, I think in the first half, we needed to change some things, and I think we weathered the storm. And I think from the first half to the second half, I think we were a completely different team, so it was a good, nice goal to get. I'm happy with my performance, but there's also 10 people in front of me that do their job as well, so I'm happy for the tie. We've been through a lot, and it's thick and thin with this club.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's for both of you. Just want to get your thoughts on the disappointment of this season, and how the penalty maybe compounded it, because without that, you're alive until now. When you look back at this season, what are the things that stand out in that realm?
Yeah, I mean, throughout every season in my career, there's ups and there's downs. It feels like this year there were a lot of downs for us, a lot of things that almost went our way and then didn't, just a lot of things that disrupted our flow. And it was tough, I'm not gonna lie, emotionally for everyone from the staff to the players, it's been really tough. I think looking at our second half performance, it just kind of like shows who we are when we're at our best. You know, our first half wasn't good and we got knocked down and we were kind of getting beaten to the ball. And then we come out in the second half and we regroup. So I think that this year has not gone the way we want it to go. How does it feel that we, lost those 3 points? It feels like shit. How does it feel that, so many things have gone wrong or we haven't always had our best performances? It feels like shit. And that's something that we have to take back and learn from and grow from and get better. But I mean, we set out and we didn't achieve our goal regardless of losing the 3 points or not. There are so many different other things that also could have gone our way. The tie against Portland, the goal against Houston by Paige Nielsen. Like there are so many things that we should have been better at and we should have gotten points from. So there's a lot to learn from. It was a disappointing season and it's not what we set out to do in any way.
I back my captain up.
Oh, Kids Scoop Media, that'll like me. Hi, my name is Lily with Kids Scoop Media. You guys played incredible tonight. You played with so much heart. I'm wondering what message you have for your fans at your last home game.
I think for me, it's thanks for being the best fans in the NWSL. Thank you for consistently sticking with us through thick and thin. Thank you for believing in us through the hard times. And I think for the younger generation, I'll speak for myself, just continue to be you and continue to strive for your dreams, and we will continue to pave the way for you.
Beautifully said.
Hi, you mentioned the second half performance. That was, I believe, the first time you have gained a point or taken a point from a losing position at halftime this season, and this is now the 10th game. What do you think has been kind of lacking in that area throughout the season, and what changed tonight in a game where it was the first game where it didn't have any bearing on a playoff position?
Well, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I think that we were ahead a lot of points of this season, and we ended up not taking any points. More so than we were behind, and we then came back to take points. And I think that when you look at that throughout the season, kind of being ahead and then losing that lead and either losing or tying, that's difficult to swallow. I mean, it's just like it's a difficult pill to swallow because that's tactical and organizational, and that's mentality. I mean, that's everything. And so today, to kind of do the opposite, to come back from being down, after last night, finding out late at night that we're not in the playoffs, I mean, it's difficult. I think that people don't understand always like the emotions that go into it. So for us to be able to come back today, I'm really proud of it. And going off what you said, we can't lose points from winning positions going forward. Next season, next game, whatever the case may be, we have to be better there. here.
So Sid scored her 48th career goal tonight. She's tied with Kristen again now. So you have these two players who are in the top 10 all time for most career goals, and they keep sort of trading off. What does that say about the not just quality on this team, but the fact that there are like legends on this roster? And even if the season didn't go the way you hoped, there still is a lot of quality and players who can do really great things.
They're legends, girl. You just said it. They're legends.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible to have players like that. I know Madison was up here a few weeks ago joking around that Alyssa has been at the Kristen Press finishing school, but it's true. I mean, they have so much knowledge, and they guide the younger players, the Messiah, Alyssa. So just being able to have those veteran influences on the team, it makes a really big difference. And it's tough, but it's like having Sid score that goal today, it's like making something out of nothing. It's great to have people like that around.
Yeah, I think what I can make a really obvious statement is that we always continue to fight in the second half. I think that is something that we want to see more evolution in. We don't want to just wait till the second half to turn up and start that performance. But I think evolution in... It's been a real up and down roller coaster of a season. We've had some really, really high moments, and we've had some really low moments. And I think being able to take those moments of adversity and grow, being able to put second half performances together consistently that have been brilliant. And now we have to add all that together. But I say it every week, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. Building a club from scratch is something that takes time. Building an identity, building a culture is something that takes time. And I think this season we have grown massively in our identity, in what we're trying to achieve and what we're trying to accomplish. And yes, there's been bumps along the way. We recognize that. But everything that's a bump along the way is completely in our control.
Hey, was it really that cold out there, Becky?
I'm always cold. I run cold, It's like my emotional support jacket.
I guess it's a cliche at this time of year to talk about players playing for their contract in their future, but unless I'm wrong, DiDi is an unrestricted free agent, Sid is an unrestricted free agent, and DiDi was spectacular all game, and Sid was spectacular on the goal. Are they playing sort of for next season already, do you think? I mean, what was your takeaway of the way that those two women played?
Yeah, I think obviously Sid came on and impacted the game massively in the second half, and DiDi's consistently been performing all season. I think what everybody in professional sports is constantly playing for something, playing for your place, playing for championships, playing for points. Like, you're always playing for something. These players are competitors. That's what they do. They do it from the minute they wake up to the minute they go to sleep, and you're born a competitor, and DiDi's a competitor, Sid is a competitor, this team is competitive, and I think this league is constantly evolving. I think what is so special about the NWSL is every year something new gets thrown at you, and the league is constantly growing, and players are always going to be constantly evaluated on their performances. I think it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're 18 or whether you're 28, 38, you're going to be constantly evaluated in your performance, and I think Sid has been a player that for the last few games has come off the bench and impacted the game massively for us, like massively. And I think that's really important. I talk about it all the time. Like, your value is not based on whether you are in the starting 11. Your value is based on what you can bring to the group. And that might look different at different stages of your career or different stages of a season or a week. Like, your role is constantly changing. But how you show up in those moments, and again, all of our players off the bench today I thought were excellent. I thought they enhanced the game and brought a whole new level, and that is going to be different people at different weeks, and that's the expectation of a player that comes off the bench, a player that doesn't play, a player that gets 90 minutes. We're constantly evolving and we're constantly competing.
Hey, Becky. I want to reframe the first question a little bit and maybe ask you to kind of go a little deeper on the answer. Wondering about the disappointment of this season and maybe how the disappointment became greater when the penalty came down, because you guys would have been alive today without it. How do you see that? And as you look at the season, where do you think the issues are? Where do you think the problems were that prevented you from being who you wanted to be?
Yeah, I think when I reflect, and obviously you have to do a big reflection on this, there's not many, if barely any, where I walk away and say, like, we were outplayed today. I think we spoke about it from week one. A lot of the times we've been our own downfall, and that is a little bit of mentality. I think last week with 15 seconds to go. Like, that's something that we shouldn't drop points. We've dropped so many points from leading positions, and that is down to us, and we can change that, and we can fix that, and we have to change that and fix that. I think we maybe have dropped 20 points from leading positions. I'm not oblivious to that. And if you pick up half of those, you're 10 points better off, and we're sat in a playoff spot. We can control what we can control, and those are the points that we've dropped. I think when you look at the penalty, that is not in our control as players or coaching staff. We just have to continue to do our jobs every day, and we have to continue to focus on games and picking up points. And I think our second half performance tonight was brilliant. I think our first half, we were a little off the mark. We were late to press. We got a little bit stretched, and then we panic in possession. I think to be able to come in and reset at halftime and not really change a lot, but just fix the mentality of this is what we're going to do and this is when it works, and showing this team that when we do it and when we do have that grit and that desire, that's who we are. We are a gritty, blue collar, like, we're going to come in and win tackles, and we're going to be never say die. And, you know, no matter what Portland looks like for us in 2 weeks' time, we're still going to be never say die. That's who we are. That's our identity. We will play that game like we have every chance to get into the playoffs, because that is who this team is.
Hey, Becki, you said that the league is always evolving, but where are you guys at in that evolving process? Coming off of last year, made the playoffs, and you're thinking, okay, third year, they're going to be maybe higher up in the table, but where are you guys at in the process?
Yeah, I think obviously every season in this league, you're looking to strengthen your squad. That's not a secret. Like, we are where we are, and we have to strengthen our squad in areas. I think when you now look at the top 4 teams, maybe outside of Gotham, you have players that have 20 goals, 18 goals, 15 goals. Like, we have players that contribute massively and score game-winning goals and make game-winning tackles, but where's that player that's going to score you 15-plus goals a season? Because that is the NWSL now. And those players are coming in from all over the world and making this league better. And we want this league to be the most competitive in the world. We want those players to come in here. We also have them internally, and our job is to develop them and bring the best out of them. And that's something that, again, I'm going to sit here as a first-time head coach and say I learned more lessons this year than I've learned in 34 years of my existence. And it is my job to take those lessons on board and apply them into a space where we can continue to grow as a club.